Hello everyone, Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. Today, we're going to talk about electrolytes, because I've continued on that experiment, and I got a couple other topics in mind. And don't forget to stick around to the end, because I've got a little cooking video I'm going to tack on to the end of this one. I'm down to just the ribs that they cut off over at the grocery store where I bought those standing rib roasts. I've got one of those left, and it's still got a lot of the meat left on it, the way they cut them. And well, you'll see at the end. I'm gonna use those. Of course, there's not enough there for a whole meal, so I think I'm gonna use those with some burgers and maybe even some fried eggs on top of the burgers. But stick around to the end, because I'm gonna put a little Cooking with Bob episode in there. For those of you new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. You may be asking yourself, Bob, what in the world are we watching here? Well, you're watching me walk. I know that doesn't seem super exciting, but oh, hello, yappy dog. But if you realize, about a year ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for 2 to 2.5 minutes at a time without severe pain. And I'm out here walking every day. Or most of the days. I took a really short walk yesterday because I went over to the pool and did my heavy workout there. And I think this afternoon I'm going to go over and do my first round of lifting weights. We'll see. I'm still working on that schedule. But anyway, but for those of you that are new, the primary focus of this channel is to show you that it's never too late to change your life. Because here I am, now that it's Saturday. It's actually not Saturday, but I'm recording this early because I finally got ahead a little bit. So now that it's Saturday, it's less than 2 weeks until my 60th birthday. I started on the carnivore way of life the day before my 59th birthday. So here I am, just not quite a year later, out here walking. I'm not sure. Oh gosh, I got a call coming through. I don't know who that is. So let me get that off my phone. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure which way we're going to go today. For those of you that have been following the channel for a while, welcome back. I'm glad you're here as well. Where I'm at right now, I went up the hill across the street from my house. And now I'm at that point where very late last year, just before I headed south for the winter, I showed you the intersection, the place where I stopped and turned around, because I either have to go that way and go down a hill and then back up it, or that way goes down a hill. But I don't actually know where this street goes. So, just like the video I showed you a few days ago, I'm going to try to not get lost in my own neighborhood, but it can happen. Oh, this may not have been a great way to go. There's another big barking dog up there. Roof, 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 roof. But I see something else that I'm pretty excited about here. It is springtime in Nebraska, and I can't tell if I'm getting them in the shot there or not, but we got some flowers down there, and we got some more flowers Back over there. Hopefully I caught those in the shot. We got some tulips, and we got some more tulips over there and some daffodils up. Those are almost always the first flowers that come out here in Nebraska. And a couple of really pretty flower beds out there. But if you guys remember back, let's talk about electrolytes. If you guys remember back, it's been 3 weeks ago now, I think. It was back there a ways. I said I started adding, since I got home, the Keto Chow mineral drops to my coffee in the morning. And that it had really cut down on cravings for me. Because, I'd been doing this for almost a year, and I was still having problems with, every once in a while in the evening, I of course never gave into it, but I was always still thinking about pizza and how adding the daily minerals, for whatever reason, I don't even remember who I heard it from, but making sure you have enough minerals can help with your cravings if you're still having them. And the reason the daily minerals are semi-important, depending on what you're eating, because I generally use grain-finished beef because I'm here in Nebraska, and grain-finished is what's most readily available here. I mean, we're basically the feedlot capital of the world. You can't swing a cat. I know that's not a politically correct thing to say anymore, but it's hard to swing a cat around here and not hit a feedlot, because they're everywhere. And because there's been so much I'll just say irresponsible farming going on, not in the beef industry, but overall, our soil has been depleted of many of its minerals that, even 50 years ago, if you, say, grew a carrot in your backyard, that would have a completely, a different nutrient profile today than what it would have had 50 years ago. Even if, you're out in the country, if it's ever been used by an irresponsible farmer, it may or may not have the correct nutrients and minerals still in it. So those are, kind of missing. Like, iodine drops and a few of the other things that people tend to use. I don't even know what all the minerals are. I don't worry about it. The one I'm using is Keto Chow's Daily Minerals. That was designed by Dr. Berry for Keto Chow. Oh my, look at this. Got another big flower bed here. I'm just going to flip the camera around and give you a kind of a walkthrough here. They're not super good looking. Some of them look like they're starting to die already because it's gotten really cold here. They probably bloomed and then got cold and froze up. Because a couple of weeks ago it was 70 plus every day. And it's been in the mid 60s during the day and still been getting down to 35 or 40 at night, which is not great for flowers. But anyway, so I don't even know what all the minerals are, or what they're supposed to do, but I watched that video a few weeks ago that said if you're still having cravings, it might be because you're deficient in some kind of mineral. So I started adding the Keto Chow Daily Minerals into my coffee in the morning. Yes, I still drink coffee. Not every day. Not as much as I used to. That's the one thing that October challenge did for me. I'm no longer addicted to coffee. I don't have to have it every morning. But I still like coffee, and I didn't really notice a whole lot of difference in either having coffee or not having coffee. So I don't mind having coffee. I don't think it hurts me. I'm sure some point in the future I'll try another 30 days without coffee now that I'm further into it. See if I notice any difference, but for right now I don't. Well, I don't know where I'm at, so let's just keep going on up the street here. But as I said when I first started taking it, I'm still noticing that just the thought of eating stuff that I used to crave, now instead of thinking, I could probably get away with a Papa John's pizza tonight if I really wanted to, now the thought of eating that kind of stuff kind of makes me a little sick to my stomach. So I have no idea what the mineral was, but I was probably deficient in something. So I'm happy to report that is all still working for me. And I'm talking about this today for a reason. If you recall, back when I was talking about it, I suggested that I had an Amazon link down in the description where you could order it through Amazon because you didn't have to pay shipping. Well, now I have a link down in the description, and if you use that link to go to Keto Chow's website, you'll save 10%, which if all you're ordering is the daily minerals or the electrolyte drops or the fasting drops or any of that kind of stuff, the 10% discount will probably just offset the shipping costs. But if you're using the product anyway, it's a good way to offset the cost. And if you use my link, I get just a tiny, tiny little bit of money back from that. It's not a huge deal, but I like Chris and Miriam. I like what they're doing over at Keto Chow. So I'm happy to support them in their endeavor. And for those of you that are doing keto, if you use any of the other Keto Chow products, my link is good for those as well. But like I said, I don't use those. I'm still looking forward to, when I actually get to the maintenance level, I may try some of the Keto Chow stuff, because to be honest, it all looks really, really good, especially the people that are making Keto Chow ice cream in their creamies. Man, that stuff looks really, really good. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind having a little ice cream. But for right now, I'm carnivore. And none of that is in the carnivore diet. But I know I've got quite a few of you out there that watch this that do keto or ketovore. If you've ever thought about using Keto Chow, or you do use Keto Chow, and you don't currently have somebody whose link you're using to get a discount, be sure and go through my link down in the description and get yourself a 10% discount on Keto Chow. I'm going to have some more thoughts for you when I get back to the house. But for right now, let's see where we're at here. Yeah, that's been about 15 minutes of video. And since I'm going to be putting in some cooking stuff, I still don't want these videos to get super long. So I'm going to find my way back to the house, and I'll see you when I get there. Okay, here I am back at the house. This other topic that I want to talk about, we talk about quite a bit on this channel, but it's an important enough topic, and I have new subscribers every day, and I get the same basic questions a lot, and so I think it's important enough to cover it. For those of you that have heard this before, I apologize. I'll keep it as quick as possible, but I am, constantly getting the questions, Bob, how do you stick with it? Or, gosh, I've tried to do carnivore or keto. I've tried and tried and tried, but I get 2 or 3 weeks into it, and then I just can't resist having a little bit of this or a little bit of that. Do you have any suggestions for helping me stick with it? I think it's very important to keep our why right in front of us at all times. Like for me, when I first started this way of eating, my why was I want to be able to stand for longer than 2.5 minutes at a time without severe pain. I've obviously far surpassed that now, but every time I think of something besides my long-term goals, every time I think of something that I might want to try and eat, I try to think back to how I felt a year ago. And let me tell you, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. But my why is not your why. You have to figure out what your why is. And I don't think for most people, some of you it will be, but for most people, the general, well, I'd like to lose a little bit of fat, or I'd just like to get a little healthier. I don't think that's a strong enough why. You need to figure out why you're trying to get to where you're trying to go. Is it to take your dog for a walk, take your dog to the dog park without struggling? Play with your kids, play with your grandkids, be able to get down on the floor and play with your grandkids. Take them to the park or take them to the zoo. Or just go see things that this great country has to offer for tourism, and not just see it from the parking lot, but actually be able to walk back in and look at the thing. Whatever it is you're trying to do, that's what you need to keep in front of you at all times. Every time you think about, oh boy, this slice of pizza really sounds good, 1 or 2 little slices won't kill me. Think about, do I want that pizza more than I want to be able to sit down on the floor and play with my grandkids? And I think that will help you stick to it more than anything else. So now that I've covered that again, let's go on in and see what I got cooking up in the kitchen. As you can see, I've got the air fryer preheating. There's that cover that I told you I put on it. And here's the basket waiting for my ribs. And I've got the cast iron heating up, melting some lard in it. There's the ribs I'm going to throw in the air fryer. And I've got 4 burgers ready to go in the cast iron as soon as everything's heated up. I'll catch up to you guys in just a little bit. There's my ribs out of the air fryer. Let me flip these over so you can see the other side of them. There's that. My burgers are about ready to come out, so I will show it all to you when I get it all on my big cutting board / plate. And there you have it. 4 burgers. The rib rack that was underneath a 10-pound roast. And if I end up needing a little extra food, I can always grab some more burgers out of the freezer because they're pre-made into burger patties. All I got to do is fire up the cast iron again and cook some more. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little cooking video on the end of my regular videos. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.